Joy News Prime, it's now time for sports. My name is Asari Bridiako. A little later, I'll tell you about Arsene Wenger, who has labelled English footballers as masters of diving. First, President Akufo-Addo has reiterated his government's commitment to sports development, revealing that a number of football pitches are under construction across the country. President Akufo-Addo made a disclosure during today's State of the Nation address.
The Speaker, this year we'll continue the process of passing the legislative instruments of the National Youth and Sports Act, pursue the enactment of the draft National Sports College Bill, and create a sports fund to improve sports development in the country. Government also remains committed to the development of football in the country. We have begun the rehabilitation of the Accra Sports Stadium, otherwise known as the Ohinijan Sports Stadium. And in partnership with the Inner City and Zongo Development Ministry and the Ghana Football Association, we are constructing a number of football pitches in the Zongos and across the country to aid in the revival of schools football, which has been responsible for the production of talents like Abedi Pele and Tony Yeboah. We need to cast the talents at a young age if Ghanaian football is to continue with its traditions of excellence and perform well on the national and international stage.
Elsewhere, the 2018 Winter Olympics gets underway in Pyeongchang on Friday, and Akwesi Frimpong is the only Ghanaian competing in the event. Ghana's chef de mission, Jerry Shaib, is confident the skeleton athlete will not disappoint.
For someone who virtually suffered, had to go through an illegal migration, and it was then 8 years, is now stayed in America for a certain period, and he's not forgotten one thing, that he comes from Ghana, that his umbilical cord is Ghana. And it's not as if he did not get the Americans poaching him or the Dutch poaching him. They did, but he stood by his words that, listen, I'm doing this for Ghana. And he's done it. The fact that he's even qualified to go and participate in this game is enormous marketing for the Ghanaian people. Like I said, we've been paying. I think Ministry of Tourism pays so much to CNN. We get 1 minute, but Akwesi gets more than 7 minutes.
And what do you anticipate going into the games?
He's going to do very well. This is a guy who is an inspiration himself. He virtually practices or trains every day. What does that tell us? He tells us that, listen, I just want to make the name Ghana read and sound in the ears of each and every person. I want to make the name Ghana be everywhere dense like an indifference curve. That's exactly what the guy wants to do. So he's ready virtually to kill himself for Ghana, and that is the inspiration we should have as young people.
Let's go to England now, because Riyad Mahrez has refused to return to training at Leicester City since the end of the January transfer window after failing to push through a move to Manchester City, who were prepared to offer over £60 million for the Algeria winger. He is set to miss this weekend's league tie against Manchester City. The BBC's John Bennett has more.
Well, the situation remains the same. For 10 days now, Riyad Mahrez effectively has not been at Leicester City. The club are keeping things very close to their chest. We don't know if he's absent without leave or whether he's been given some time off to clear his head. What we do know is that he will miss the Manchester City game at the weekend. That's the third game in a row that he has missed because of this saga. And ironically, it was Manchester City's interest in him that was rejected by Leicester City that kicked this off. Riyad Mahrez is very upset that Manchester City's interest was rejected. Leicester wanted a transfer package worth $130 million. Manchester City weren't willing to pay that figure. Let's hear from the Leicester City manager, Claude Puel. He is desperate to see Riyad Mahrez return as soon as possible.
I think he needed to come back and to play, to touch the ball. And he's a magnificent footballer, and he loves his football. It's important he come back. He can get. I said he said right.
And finally, Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger says English footballers may be the masters of diving. Tottenham's Dele Alli was booked for diving in Sunday's 2-2 draw at Liverpool, and his teammate Harry Kane was accused of diving by Reds defender Virgil van Dijk in winning a penalty. We can now hear from Arsene Wenger.
I'm convinced what he wanted to say, tricking your opponent, is to say you have to be clever, you know. How far was it an apology for diving? I'm not sure at all, you know. I don't think he would. And in my personal case, no. So overall, I must say we have to get the diving out of the game. I remember there was tremendous cases here when it was the foreign players who did it. But I must say the English players have learned very quickly, and they may be the masters now.
And that's the sports for now here on Joy News Prime. For more sports news, make your way to the sports page on myjoyonline.com. You can also follow us on social media, on Twitter and on Facebook. My name is Asari Bediako. Thank you very much for watching.